Okay, here we are, the last page of this review. This is converting forms and writing equations. So first one, I'm asked to convert something to standard form. So this is vertex. So I'm going from vertex form to standard form. So this is where you really have to know what each of these forms is. So vertex is y equal a, x minus h squared plus k. That's vertex form. Intercept form is y equal a, x minus p, x minus q, and then standard was y equal ax squared plus bx plus c. So convert to standard form, I just really need to do the operation that's indicated here. So y is equal to 2, so I need to write x plus 2 times x plus 2 plus 3 and perform this operation. So y is equal to 2. When I multiply x plus 2 times x plus 2, I get x squared plus 2x plus 2x plus 4 plus 3. Y is equal to 2. X squared plus 4x plus 4 plus 3. So y is equal to 2x squared plus 8x plus 8 plus 3. So my final answer, I'm running out of room here, is y equal 2x squared plus 8x plus 11. So again, it's just doing the multiplication that's indicated in vertex form, and you get 2x squared plus 8x plus 11. Now let's look at the next one. Convert this to standard form. Similar process. You just go through the operation that you see. Minus 3. Now let's multiply, and you get x squared plus x minus 2x minus 2. So that means y is equal to negative 3. X squared minus x minus 2. Y is equal to negative 3 x squared plus 3x plus 6. That's standard form. One of the things you can always check is when you look at this, you look at that and you know that that opens downward. I look at this, it opens downward. So I better have the same leading coefficient. Otherwise, I've made a mistake somewhere along the way. Let's look at the next ones. So next I'm asked to convert to intercept form. So I'm in standard form and I need to go to intercept. So if I'm going from standard to intercept, I'm trying to take I'm trying to start with something that's ax squared plus bx plus c, and I'm trying to get that into x minus p, x minus q. That means I basically need to factor this. So let's factor this. If this will factor, I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give me a negative 28 and add to give me a 3. So that's a 7 and a 4, with the 4 being negative. I multiply those numbers, I get negative 28. I add those numbers, I get 3. So y is equal to x plus 7, x minus 4. So that is that parabola in intercept form. Now, this is probably the hardest one, is anytime you need to get something into vertex form, okay? So in order to get this to vertex form, I'm going to have to do a couple of tricks. First, I need to figure out what negative b over 2a is, and that's going to help me find the vertex. So in this case, I'm going to write a equal negative 1, b equal negative 6, and c equal negative 10. Okay. So the axis of symmetry, is just, I'm going to write a little bit over here, x equal negative b over 2a. So in our case, that's negative of negative 6 over 2 times negative 1. So I got, what, 3 negatives there? This is going to be a negative number. So this is negative 3. So now I know the axis of symmetry. Now, so if you know the axis of symmetry, you know the x-coordinate of the vertex. So let's now find the vertex. Necessary to find the vertex if you're going to vertex form. So to find the vertex, I know that x has to be negative 3. So I'm going to plug that into my original equation. Negative of negative 3 squared minus 6 times negative 3 minus 10. Negative 3 squared is 9, so this is negative 9 plus 18, that's negative 6 and negative 3, minus 10. So this is negative 19 plus 18, which is negative 1. So I now know that my vertex is negative 3, negative 1. So I have my vertex, I have A. So I have everything I need for y equal a x minus h squared plus k. All I need was a, h, and k. So this is y equal negative, that's where the a comes for, negative 1, and then it's going to be x plus 3 squared minus 1. Okay, so remember it has a minus. This formula has a minus built in. X minus h, so that's x minus negative 3. And so the vertex of this is going to be at negative 3, negative 1. That is correct. So this is your final answer for this guy. And then lastly, let's figure out some equations of parabolas. So parabolas passing through points. Bells go off in your head when you see this because those are x-intercepts. So in this case, I know 2 x-intercepts and 1 other point. So I will be using intercept form. So y is equal to a, and it's going to be x plus 11, x minus 7. Furthermore, I know that 0, 154 is on the parabola. So when I plug in a 154 for y and a 0 for x, that should help me solve for a. So 154 equal a times negative 77. So 154 equal negative 77a. A is equal to 154 over negative 77, which is just negative 2. So I'm almost there. Final answer, y equal negative 2, x plus 11, x minus 7. So that is the first equation. Next equation, a parabola that has a vertex of negative 3, 1 passing through negative 2, negative 3. Well, I'm going to use vertex form, x minus h squared plus k. So this is y equal a, x plus 3 squared plus 1. I'm going to use that point negative 2, 3. So 3 is the y value. So a, and the x value is negative 2. So I just plugged in negative 2 for x, 3 for y. So here I get 3 is equal to a. 3 minus 2 is 1, so this is just 1 squared plus 1. So 3 is equal to a plus 1. A is equal to 2. So this one, the final answer is y equal 2. x plus 3 squared plus 1. So that is the final answer for this middle problem. And the last problem. I think you'll be glad to know this one requires very little calculation. So this one I've got 3 points, none of which is an x-intercept or a vertex. So I'm going to need to use the TI in order to do this. So to find the quadratic that passes through these points. So the way I'll do that is I'll create a new document, which is a list and spreadsheet. So let me just come over and do this on my computer. It'd be a little bit quicker. So the process there was to create a variable. So I'm going to have my x variable and my y variable. And so the x values are going to be 1, 3, and 4. And the y values are going to be 1, 4, and 7. 1, 4, 7. Double check. So 1, 1, 3, 4, 4, 7. Those are my points. So now I just go and control document, create a new new data and statistics. My x variable goes on the bottom axis. My y variable goes on the vertical axis. And then it's just menu, analyze. Okay, I'm not sure what I just checked there. Let me back that up. I think I hit something real quick. Regression, menu, analyze, regression, and it should be show quadratic. So the quadratic you see is right there. So my answer is 0.5x squared minus 0.5x plus 1. So the answer is y is equal to 0.5x squared minus 0.5. You got to be real careful with this calculator. Minus 0.5x, so minus 0.5x, and then plus 1. Plus 1. That is it. So guys, this is the review we have. Like I said, this content much more heavily covers some of the last stuff we did. There's no way this test can be as long as your previous 2 tests combined plus the stuff we did. So it's going to have to cut some of the material. It can't go as deep. But please don't look at this review and say, nothing, if it's not here, I don't study it. So you need to go back and look, rationalizing the denominator, simplifying square roots, all the stuff we did with complex numbers. All of this is going to be on there. And like I said, when it comes to solving, you're more likely to see solve by any method than you being spoon-fed which method to use. So anyway, hope this helps. Good luck.